don't think I've ever done live on this one actually.
Hello, thank you for tuning in to the Keeping It Real show on Reason Silence Radio. My name is Amanda, the host for the show. Hope you're having a blessed and wonderful evening so far. So yes guys, sorry I know that I went on a bit of a break, but my guest is here now, so thank God. And yes, I'm joined today by Gabriel Modesto. Hello Gabriel.
Hi there, how are you doing?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Lovely that you joined us today. So yes, Gabriel is a minister, he's actually an evangelist, and God is using him greatly in the UK and also in South America. He's a young man, so you know how it feels like to be young and called. I don't know how it feels like. I'm not a minister, but I can just imagine the amount of pressure and also the dedication that you have to make, you know, your relationship with God in order to walk in purpose. So yes, Gabriel, thank you for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here tonight and share with you and the listeners.
Yay! So yes, that's great. So thank you so much for joining us again. And also you have a ministry called Gabriel Modesto Ministries, and you have an upcoming program called Revival, don't you?
That's correct. The revival. That's something that we birthed last year. We're excited because we believe that there's a revival coming to this nation, and one of the things God put in my heart was to stir revival throughout the UK.
Wow, that's amazing. And so yes guys, our topic for today is staying revived for God in this generation, and then also Gabriel's story of a personal testimony of where God is brought him from, how faithful God has been, and from when he was to where he is now. So yes guys, that's all we'll be talking about on the show. If you have any questions, you know, in regards to the show, the number to call is 078-372-99499. That's 078-372-99499. So call this number or text this number, or you can send a personal WhatsApp message to this number. Also, if you want to request any music of your choice, you can also call the number again, 078-372-99499. So yes guys, send me any questions or any music requests of your choice. So yes, Gabriel, tell us a bit more about your ministry and how long you've been, you know, doing this ministry for.
Cool. Well, I'm 20. I just turned 24 this year. Last year, I mean the end of last year. I'm still getting used to the whole year change.
Don't be nervous, just relax. Okay.
But I've been preaching, I'll say, for 10 years now.
Wow.
Started when I was 16 and went international at the age of 17. I'm originally from Brazil, so I come from Rio de Janeiro, which is a place in south of Brazil.
Yeah. How was it like growing up in, you know, Rio? Was it like different? Did you grow up as a Christian?
I was born into Christianity. Actually, my mother, she couldn't get pregnant, so me myself was a promise to God, to her.
Wow.
She was at the altar when God said to her that she was pregnant and that in her there was a preacher. So I was already birthed into this, you know, household where I was always told about God, about Jesus, and who I was meant to be. But I guess you still have to walk your own process.
Yeah.
And you still have to kind of live and find and discover God for yourself. So growing up in Brazil until the age of 7 and 8, it was quite tough. My dad was a mafia leader, and at the time when he accepted Christ, I believe it was a month later he was assassinated. So
wow.
Yeah, so me and my mother went straight to the streets.
You grew up with your mum basically?
Yeah, we was in the streets. We didn't have a home. We didn't have clothes. We didn't know where we would sleep each night, and
wow.
we was going from church to church and sleeping in church chairs and things like that.
So that must have really affected you as a child as well, knowing that, wow, you know, obviously every child wants to have the basic needs. You know, growing up, does that affect you?
It does leave scars. It leaves experiences also, but it also gives you the opportunity to discover who your God is. For me, it was more of a discovering who my God was.
Wow.
Even though me and my mother were on the streets, my mother always loved God, always worshipped God, and I think for me, that was one of the biggest things that pushed me to even do what I'm doing today.
Wow, that's amazing.
And just for her to be going through what she went through and still go to church every Sunday and still seek God and have that hope in Him. And she always used to tell me, Gabriel, as long as we're alive, then the promise is still alive. And I think for me that was key to believing that.
To having a strong faith. She had a good foundation.
Yeah.
Your mother's experiences.
Yeah. And it just made me believe that nothing's impossible. You know, if we could come from the favelas in Brazil, the slums, and reach where I am here today, then nothing's impossible.
Yeah, and that's really grateful. I think a lot of times we look at our lives and we think, okay, maybe I'm somewhere, but I'm not quite where exactly I need to be at. But the thing is, you have to celebrate every process, because when you do get to where you want to be, you're probably thinking, how far up can I go? You're never ever going to enjoy where you are and be thankful.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think especially millennium generation, we want everything so quick, and sometimes we worry so much about tomorrow that we forget today.
Yeah.
And one of the things Jesus said was, worry about today, for tomorrow has its own worries.
Exactly.
We take the opportunity of today.
Wow, and that's really, really important. So yes, guys, if you have any questions, if you have any comments towards the show, how do you stay revived as a Christian, as a young Christian in this generation, the number to call is 078-372-99499. Or if you'd like to ask Gabriel any questions as well, the number to call is 078-372-99499. You can call or WhatsApp this number as well. So also looking at, obviously, revival, what comes in mind, or I shouldn't even say what comes in mind, because you are somebody who wants to revive everybody else, the young people, a revivalist. So what do we mean by revival? Like, when it comes to revival, I mean, I looked a bit around and it said it's to restore life to life or consciousness, is to give new strength or energy to something. It's like to wake people up. So we can be Christians, but, say we're Christian, but we could still be sleeping in the same areas of our lives.
That's correct. I think to revive is to bring back what was original. So we look at Ezekiel and he sees the bones in the valley, and God says to him, can these bones come back to life? In the process they died.
Wow.
And God knew that they could be revived if somebody prophesied.
Wow.
So God says to him, can you prophesy? And he says, God, only you know. And he starts to prophesy, and while he's prophesying, the Bible says that, bones start to come back to bones, joints. And I think, for me, that's the biggest example of what revival is. Revival will bring back together what was meant to be together in the first place. Wow,
that's truly, truly amazing. So revival bringing back together what was meant to be together in the first place. And obviously through the power of God, because without the power of God, that whatever that's dead will not wake up.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so what would you say, what are some of the things that, things that we have to do in this generation to make sure that we stay revived? Or should I say do or partake in, or?
I think to stay revived, the two key things for me is a relationship with God and a life of prayer.
Wow.
A lot of people confuse prayer and having a relationship with God as if it's two big separate things, when in fact it's one. And we want a relationship with God in the sense that He will give us what we want, but we don't want the relationship where we have to pray and seek Him.
And seek Him, and also receive what He wants for us.
Yeah.
Because we want other things, but He actually has His plan.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we want God, I want my way, but actually He's saying, this is how I want it, are you going to take it?
Yeah. And I think this generation lacks a bit of that intimacy on its individual state, where I don't need anyone to tell me that I'm going to go and pray to Him and worship Him and talk to Him. And I think that's key for revival. I think that's how I survived all these years believing, and still do believe in the revival, is the prayer, intimacy with God.
Wow. So prayer and an intimacy with God. But, there's a lot of us probably that are praying and seeking the Lord's face, but it's like, okay, there's still something that's in the way. Because there are a lot of Christians who, are building a relationship with God, believe they've been called, especially young, but they're not able to step out.
Yeah. I think we could get so deep into it, but it's a lot of young people today are living religion, what you call religion. where they have the information is passed down to them, but they don't have the spiritual experience. For example, me being on the road with my mother gave us spiritual experience that God is a real God. And I think a lot of young people today, they know the lyrics of our worship songs, they know the church, they know the pastor that's going to be preaching every Sunday, but it's just a religion, it's a cycle, it's a everyday thing, and not so much the power of God. And I think we lack the experience of power of God. We talk about that God can heal, but the young people are not seeing this. And we talk about God can, resurrect the dead and do so many wonders and miracles, but we lack to actually show this to this generation. And I think that comes from the lack also of understanding God's will and how to live that.
Wow. And also, do you also think it's something to do with faith as well? Because, so without faith it's impossible to please God. And, so if you have faith, as small as a mustard seed, you can tell the mountain to move, or whatever it is that is in our way.
Yeah, faith has a lot to do with it. But at the same time, there are a lot of people that have no faith, and because God wants to reveal himself to them, he will still do it for them.
Wow.
I think it's more than just faith. It's also to do with if you know God and you decide not to be in his will, it makes it really hard for God to do something.
And I think probably that's the answer to a lot of the questions. You might know him, but being in his will, and also praying for his will. Because a lot of times, like I said, we're praying, God give me this, God give me that, rather than God, I want your will. And God show you something like, hey, I'm not doing this. Forget it.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. I think that you could be doing really great, but it doesn't mean that in the spiritual world you're in God's will.
Oof.
And that's a scary place to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in a place where, I have thousands of followers and I've got, people calling me everywhere to go preach everywhere, but I'm not in his will. That's a scary place.
And no, I know, and that's really, really difficult. But sometimes if you're in his will, that's when people reject you.
Yeah.
That's when you even got more rejection from people that are supposed to support you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times when...
And what you just said is key, right? Because you said when you're doing God's will, people start to reject you.
Yes.
And I think that's the characteristics of Christ.
Wow.
He was rejected.
Yeah.
That's the characteristic of the church in Acts.
Mm.
The church was persecuted, rejected. And I think the way we are so comfortable in the world right now, the church itself internationally, the body of Christ, it's actually very scary. Are we meant to be in so much comfort if we are doing the works against the darkness?
Wow.
Shouldn't there be some kind of conflict, some kind of...
well, not all the time, otherwise people will just get tired.
No, sure, but there should be a level of persecution. Christ said in his word that you would be persecuted for my name's sake. There should be some level of trial that keeps you in God's presence.
Wow.
And that's what I mean by when I say, we're too comfortable.
As Christians. Wow, that's very, very true. So yes, guys, Gabriel Modesto is joining us here today. He's a special guest for today's show. We're talking about how to stay revived as a Christian, and also he'll talk a bit more about his life testimony, and just to encourage you guys from where he's come from, and also to be thankful to God. So please send any messages that you have. You can also call the number for the studio. The number to call is 078-37299-499. 078-37299-499. Okay, you also have a music request as well. I believe you requested some songs. I think it was Great I Am, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Great
so, yes,
I Am.
we'll play, and I think it was a different song as well you also requested.
I'm trying to remember.
On there. But hopefully...
Let Praises Rise, that's
Let Praises Rise. Yeah, that's one of my favourite songs. So, yes, guys, we're going to go on a music break, and I'm going to play Let Praises Rise in a second, but first we're going to go on an advertisement for the radio show, and then Let Praises Rise will follow. Okay, so please enjoy Let Praises Rise by, I think it's All Worship.
That's correct.